Is there such thing as too old for bike packing? I guess it depends on how you look at it. Are you looking at it from the perspective too old to start bike packing? Or are we getting too old to go bike packing? I'm gonna say you're never too old for bike packing, but you may have to make some adjustments along the way. We're on the beautiful shores of Lake Grapevine, and it's chilly out. I had to find somewhere with a little bit of a windbreak. If you're starting from scratch, if you're brand new to bike packing and the concept of bike packing, I've got a lot of good stuff in this box just for you. If you've been doing it for a while, I think I've got some good stuff in this box just for you. But I know people are going to have lots of different opinions. Feel free to comment. I do want to start with one slightly off-topic thing, but I promise we're going to get back to it. I am going to go more in depth on this, but here's a new gadget that I'm trying out, the CycPlus AS2 Pro Mini Tire Inflator. For various reasons, I thought I would give this a try. I'll have a specific video in the not too distant future, but I'll be honest with you, I don't think I was planning to be a hater per se, but here's the pump itself. It's no bigger than a credit card. My wallet, I've got one of those slim wallets. It's actually bigger than this. Obviously, this is thicker. It's a CO2 inflator and a couple of cartridges. But what it's got a pressure gauge, which is nice. So far, it works well. And I was against these things, and I think that's going to change, but I want to spend more time with it. Okay. So I can hear it already. Everyone's going, Kevin, what's in the box? We're getting there. Let's start with how I use this box, how I just got done using this box. So less than a week ago, my friend Brad and I decided we were going to do an overnighter in support of our podcast Shiftless, the 100th episode. We thought it would be cool to ride somewhere overnight and record there. Everything I essentially need for bike packing is in this box. This is also everything I essentially need for car camping is in this box. So this is my go box, is what that boils down to. This is my first level. If I'm going camping, everything I need is in this box. It's meant to be modular. So I start here, and bike packing, true bike packing is basically all covered. I'm getting old. I'm getting fat. I got ran over by a car. I can't sleep on a traditional bike packing sleeping pad at the moment. That does not mean I don't want to have overnight bicycling adventures. Where I'm at in my journey at the moment, I orient myself more towards bike camping as opposed to bike packing, with the plan to get back to bike packing. In my world, what I need to do, I take this box, which is all my bike packing stuff and more, and we'll go in depth a little bit. And at the moment, I add more to it, which includes a more robust sleeping pad. If I can't sleep on the ground presently, I may try a hammock somewhere down the road, but that's exploratory stuff. Right now, I need to focus on other areas, but being able to get out and overnight on my bike and hang out with my friends is a good time. Let's go over what's in the box, shall we? Ta-da! Yes, it's full. No ifs, ands, or buts. Where do we start? Well, this is intended as a tent camping setup. What's the most handy is a headlight. Headlight's super important. Just in case you finish at night, you always want to have quick access. For the camping box, I include a hammer. When I'm bike packing, it will not be a hammer. This is the first time I used this one. I did use this last week. I liked it very much. Bag one of various tent stakes. Again, this is the camping box. Not everything is going on a bike packing trip. This is a variety of stakes. This is a fold-up backpack. Can come in handy. This is actually particularly useful if I'm doing a train trip. I can carry helmet, bottles, other gear, camera, stuff like that in the backpack. We said there will be some luxuries. Xped camp slippers. I am a fan, particularly if you are bike packing, but I use these almost every camping trip now. Here's the big one, and we'll break this down shortly, but this is the shelter and sleep setup. We've got tent, we've got sleeping pad, we've got quilt, we've got all sorts of other things in here. We'll break this down. A little bit of extra that fell out there. Cook pot. There's also a stove in there and also a mug. Super important, coffee. I'm one of those that when I'm camping, I'm not big on the camp food, but I need some coffee in the morning. This is essentially a bike packing kit with the exception of the hammer. And we'll go over the extras that I have in the box as well. I have a wireless inflator. Definitely don't want to take that bike packing with me. I have a smaller one on there, but this bag itself is an inflator. It works really well. More spare stakes, more spare stakes. Again, to cover various conditions and when we're on group outings and people forget stuff. A knife, a saw, toilet paper, cash, and a smaller toilet paper. A slew of chargers and electronics. A longer lighter. Bug spray. Toiletries. Medicines, etc. There's some straps and line and garbage bags and stuff like that. And probably my biggest luxury that I do pack on every trip that this box goes on, and basically, except when I'm bike packing, this box goes on every overnight trip of mine. Even on scouts, I will take this box just in case I break down in the middle of nowhere and need to set up camp unexpectedly. A fan. Now the fan needs power, and when I'm car camping, we utilize that. Let's break down the sleep kit. So this is a compression sack that I have everything in. Obviously, when I'm bike packing, this won't be the setup. This will be split up amongst bags and more than likely a compression bag of some sort. I need to try a hammock. Personally, I just can't sleep on the ground on a traditional sleeping pad anymore. My osteoarthritis just won't put up with it. My hips, shoulders, knees, back are all just absolutely trashed. I mean, don't get me wrong. If it comes down to it and it's an emergency situation, I'm going to sleep on a sleeping pad, but it doesn't make for an enjoyable bike packing experience at the moment. I tend to do what I call bike camping, where I'll set up camp at a cool overnight spot and I'll use that as a base of operations. It's also a fantastic way to start your bike packing adventures and find the equipment that works best for you. Because I put everything in that box there with a bike packing tent. What you're able to do is, if you don't have bike packing gear, just go with a slightly bigger box that holds a slightly bigger tent and other stuff. You see how much I fit in there, and that's overkill. But I can throw that in any vehicle that I'm scouting routes or doing whatever out in the mountains in the middle of the desert, and I've got an overnight kit with me at all times. If I know I'm going to be overnighting out of the car, that's when I bring this. Actually, let's pull this out too. So I know people are going to have some questions, and please do leave comments what I missed Here's that other inflator I was talking about. This is the XPED brand, which is this mattress and those shoes and a few other odds. I'm a fan of XPED generally speaking. This is also a backup battery. This one just does not have the oomph that bigger one does, but this works in a pinch. So if I know I'm car camping, I'm gonna bring this or maybe even a bigger mattress, which does fit in my one-man tent, which is in here, with this as well. So obviously I'm in Texas, and actually on Brad Mine's trip, I was in the one-man tent that's in here, an XPED mattress. I had this at the foot of the mattress, and then that portable fan was clipped up here. If it's still there, 70 degrees, 60% humidity, a little manufactured breeze isn't the end of the world. But then we used that battery backup for recharging everybody's electronics and other odds and ends along the way. Obviously, you're not going to take that bike packing. Let's get into the shelter and sleep system. I'm sure people are going, what's your setup, Kevin? And this is my bare bones and what we would consider most any weather until it starts getting super cold. If it gets super cold, then I do have heavier duty sleeping bags. I do have bigger tents as well, but I actually slept in this one this last trip to see how it still slept, and this is a true one-man bike packing tent. I have slightly bigger ones, same design. I'm a big fan of the freestanding dome tents, self-supporting. They go up stupid quick. They're easy to put together, and you can get them fairly inexpensively. Ground cover, footprint, super important. That goes underneath your tent. That way you don't poke holes into the bottom of the tent. But in my case, what I like to do is I like to bring it out in front of the entry to the tent and basically use it as a dust mat, so to speak, so I can knock all the dirt off my stuff. And it doesn't have to, and if I can set stuff outside the tent. It's not sitting straight in the dirt or the mud or whatever else. The tent body, this is an Alps and Mountaineering one-man tent. The link will be in the description. This has been my go-to tent probably since 2017, I want to say, and I've pointed a lot of other people to it. It's very low cost. It used to be $60 to $70. I think they're around $100 to $110 now. Covers a small area, fairly lightweight, but not ultra lightweight. The people that like to buy the $500 and $600 super lightweight tents from the big name manufacturers are going to poo-poo this, but I have slept in it many nights. It works well, and I have some of those fancy tents, and I've had some of those fancy tents. I don't knock them. They're very nice. This works just fine. In case of wetness, there's the rain fly as well. Here is, I don't do a sleeping bag. I do a quilt, and it packs down even tighter than this. So I can take this down to about half of this size, maybe even tighter if I can press it and strap it down. But lots of flexibility here. I like quilts over bags. That said, even a quilt can be a little heavy. So this is a sleeping bag liner. If I know it's going to be warm and I'm not going to need, this can get left behind. And this is basically, it's a sleeping bag liner. It's like a sheet. It's like just a sheet cover. So this works really well along those lines. So this can be optional. Start here. If I know it's going to be a little cool, this goes into the mix. If I know it's going to be really cool, this gets traded in for a heavier bag. But even then, the bag itself, I typically unzip and use as a quilt. And then here is my more traditional sleeping pad. I actually have not even used this one yet. I actually have used it once. I have used it once. And it worked fine, but it told me that I need more than this myself. This is the inflator for it. Basically, you scoop air that connects to the inlet. And that inflates the pad instead of just sitting there blowing it up. You can just sit there and blow it up too, or you can use one of the power inflators. This works really well, particularly when you are bike packing. This is less than a 30-minute setup for everything. And it can be tremendously quicker than that. And it's like a 15-minute tear down. Now, when you're bike packing, tear down is actually typically longer than setup because you have to repack everything. And for me personally, I prefer bike camping as opposed to bike packing for that reason as well. Particularly if I'm 2 or 3 days, I like to set up camp at a spot that I can do multiple routes from, and I don't have to break camp every day. I'm perfectly fine. Set up camp on Friday night, leave it up through Sunday afternoon when we leave, and then just go out and ride my bike all weekend and set up multiple routes, different routes from the central camping site. But it works however you want to do it. Bike camping gives you the flexibility to learn camping, get familiar with camping and things like that, and find out what equipment does and doesn't work for you, or at least start out extremely economically with what you already have, and then add pieces as you need them, and quite frankly, find out, do I even have any interest in doing this on a regular basis? You may do one overnighter and go, this ain't for me. I need the Hampton Inn. There's nothing wrong with that. Man, I love point-to-point hotel and motel routes. Some of my favorite riding right there. But I like campfires. Now, the one final piece that I did want to throw in, and I have used this a lot, it's an inflatable pillow. They're generally not my favorite, but they do work in a pinch. And it's better than nothing. But I almost always have spare blankets, spare quilts, spare clothes, whatever that I can roll up as a pillow if needed. I almost always carry one of these with me just in case. And this is Inflate by mouth. So this is meant to be like a cradle type pillow, and it works. It's a little noisy, it's a little slippery. What I like to do with this, always have a neck gaiter. And in this case, it becomes your pillowcase, which is a lot more comfortable. Oh yeah, that's definitely an upgrade there. Neck gaiter goes with me on every trip. They're indispensable. Obviously, they work for sun protection. They work for a thermal layer. You can use it as a washcloth. You can use it as a water filter. You can use it in a pinch, you can use it as toilet paper. I've never gone that far. I'm not going to waste my neck gaiter on toilet paper, but probably the best pillowcase in the world for one of those. Let me know what questions you have. Short bit is you're never too old to start bike packing. You're never too old to go bike packing. But depending on what your situation is, you may just need to make some adjustments. Have a box, have a go box, grab and go whenever you get the opportunity, try stuff out, add and subtract one piece at a time. And if you need more luxury, add more luxury. There's nothing wrong with that. Go out there and have fun.